Good afternoon or good morning, depending on what part of the country you are in. We're very glad to have everybody on board. We recognize that there is an awful lot of virtual presentations going on at this time from a lot of the different suppliers and even the ones that you have with your own customers. But just wanted to take a moment to thank you for joining us today. And I'm going to give you a brief walkthrough, but first I'll just introduce a bit of the team that will be working with us today. So we've got Mike Oliver, who is our Canadian sales manager. Who will be doing presentation duties with myself. We'll be sharing the presentation. And then we also have Matthew, who is actually our, Matthew Michelin, who is our inside sales manager. And he is overseeing the inside sales team, who is also on this call with Bavisha and Deb Godzo, who are actually going to be managing the chat. So as far as communication, everybody on the call, just due to the number of people that will be attending this call, will have a mute for everyone, so there will be no verbal communication, but we will have the chat feature open. So if you like, you can actually communicate to us through the chat, and our team will be able to respond to you with any questions that you might have. And then we'll also be sharing our contact information at the end of the presentation. My name is Chris Turner. I'm the VP of Sales for Canada. And again, like I said, really excited to be able to present this upcoming presentation to you. I'm just going to share my screen and we'll get into the actual deck. And there we go. All right. So as far as the presentation, this is actually a two-piece webinar series. And this is the first portion, which is focusing on the Stormtech difference. And we will also be doing another follow-up webinar March 23rd, so in a month exactly, which will be detailing all of the new products that we have coming out for this spring. So a great opportunity to get caught up on, the new features that are coming out from Stormtech. In regards to today's presentation, we are going to be focusing on, when we first put this presentation together, the mindset was that it was more so for customers that might not be as familiar with Stormtech. And we have a huge customer base in North America, obviously, but we do have a lot of customers that are coming on board and don't know about Stormtech. So we wanted to share a little bit about Stormtech, but then we realized that it was also a good refresher for existing customers that maybe think they know Stormtech, but over the past 5 years, we've seen some pretty dramatic changes in how we do our business and the direction of the company. So we ended up rolling this out to essentially anyone who is interested, on top of new customers, which I think this will be really relevant to. So as far as the agenda, we'll be looking at the company history. So where we've come from and where we're going, and really what makes up that DNA of what Stormtech offers to the industry. Our focus and our approach to product design and technology, somewhat different than the traditional corporate suppliers on the apparel side. We definitely have a little bit more of a retail sort of background that is etched in our DNA as well. And then we'll be kind of hitting on some key topics that are, hot button topics right now: sustainability and social responsibility, giving a little bit of indication what that means to Stormtech, as well as what trends we're seeing in the industry. And then we'll be talking about how to market or position Stormtech to your customers. And it's a question we quite often get from newer customers. But it is something that I think all of our customers can actually have a better understanding of how to market and position Stormtech in Canada. Brand viability versus brand demand. This is another hot topic as to what's going on out in the marketplace. So we'll be giving you some insight into that and our position and where we fall into the mix as far as brand and corporate demand. And then last but not least, everybody's favorite subject, supply chain. We're all familiar with the issues that are out there, not only in our industry, but globally. And then finally, a product category overview, which will be a top level sort of introduction to the different categories. And I think that, again, this is something that will give some people some visibility into categories that you might not be aware that Stormtech actually has and has built up quite a bit of success over the past, literally 5 to 10 years. So with that said, if we look at the Stormtech origins and kind of the history of the company, you can see that it originated in 1977. And I absolutely love this piece that the marketing team put together. But you can see here Blake Annable actually modeling one of the first, beer gear jackets that we made, as he began to launch into the corporate marketplace, recognizing the opportunities outside of the retail channel that he was looking to build as well. So a lot of history there, and you can even see our first warehouse. So this was, the Starsky and Hutch Sprinter van that was very popular back in the 1970s, and the evolution of the brand as we go along through all the different years. I won't touch on all of the points, but one of interest is, and some of you that are familiar with Stormtech and date back, into our earlier years, will be familiar with the fact that we actually had the licensing agreement with Champion, and so that was perfect timing for both brands. Both Stormtech and Champion were really, starting to delve into the retail side of the business, and the corporate side was becoming a bigger play for both companies. So we actually had the opportunity to distribute, obviously, the Stormtech product and as well the Champion. Fast forward 20 years, forward, and we've moved away from working with other brands, and we've focused solely on the Stormtech brand, and we have a lot to focus on. So it's really allowed us to set a direction for the company that I think has translated into the success that we're currently having right now today. So in looking at the past 45 years, you can see the evolution of the products, from the first system jacket that was launched in 1978 all the way up to today in 2022, where we're launching some of the highest technology that's available in these categories in apparel, and now available also as the company has grown to having distribution in 50 different countries around the world and 10,000 plus distributors around the globe. So really successful as far as launching into different areas outside of just Canada. The company is still a Canadian-owned company, and I think it's important to also mention that over those 45 years, Blake Annable, who started the company, has really looked to keep that sort of family aspect to the business. So both of his sons, Sean and Kyle, are leading our sales teams in Canada and the US. And Kelly, who is Blake's daughter, is also the photographer that does all the imagery in the catalog and for a lot of the website shots that we have as well. So Canadian family-run business, phenomenal success story in the country, and just very excited to see the opportunities that we have moving forward. As far as distribution and where our products are available, this is an interesting snapshot of where we have inventory. So if you do have a business registered abroad, and for example, if you wanted to have product made available in Osaka, you could actually, if you have a business registered in Osaka, you could actually have product delivered from the facility that is in Osaka. And obviously, if you're looking to do business in Australia, Mexico, the UK, etc., we have opportunities there, but you do need to have a business registered. Otherwise, we are looking at shipping from our warehouse in Vancouver. So all of our shipping internationally can also be made from Vancouver. You're just now looking at duties and shipping costs. Whereas if you're ordering directly from the location, you're able to bypass the duties and the shipping costs that would be associated with that. So if you do have an opportunity, please reach out to us, and we'd be more than glad to help you with that. And then I'm going to pass it over to Mike to talk about product development and design excellence.
Perfect, Chris. Thanks. And before we do that, again, as Chris said, we certainly want to thank you for the time. We understand that you're probably getting inundated by a lot of other companies who want your time. So again, we appreciate you spending a little bit of time with us. So as far as product development goes, again, our growth is really intrinsically tied to the design team. Our success is tied to this design team and what they're doing. We're not really designing $5 t-shirts. It's not our direction. Again, the product that we're presenting and we're putting into the market is really appreciated by a much more sophisticated type of consumer. And this team constantly churns out ideas. What's hot at retail? They're really always looking for the void, building categories with that Stormtech DNA twist, and really coming to the table with a complete product assortment. And all products from Stormtech are built to perform and protect. And the real differentiator here is that we have developed over years our own proprietary technology, and we're so confident about our product that it's always attached to a 5-year warranty. Excuse me. The Stormtech fabric technology probably are aware and have seen these technologies, if in fact you have been familiar with Stormtech at all. The H2X Extreme Waterproof Breathable Membrane Technology, which keeps you dry. The H2X Dry Moisture Management Technology, which takes moisture from your body and disperses it to keep you dry. Feather-free thermal shells, which is a compressible synthetic down alternative, which keeps you warm, and PFC-free DWR, which is a repellent, which keeps the outerwear dry. This is where it gets really interesting, though, is that this new Pure Earth launch we've got coming out in 2022, it really kind of does a deeper dig with some different things to talk about, like organic materials and recycled, regenerated materials, Polygene, which is a patented technology which is embedded into product, which is and cancels out odors, so you can wear the product more. So yeah, consumers. Oh, sorry. Next slide, Chris. There we go. Yeah, there we go. So of course, consumers really identify with Stormtech as a foul weather or a cold weather brand. And quite frankly, I think we all can see why. We're the largest product assortment, typically worn in colder climates, and we have the largest offering of rainwear in the industry as well too. We're a Pacific Northwest company. It's where our roots are. So of course, that's the type of product that we are really intrinsically involved with on a daily basis. That being said, we also have, we also have a huge development focus on lifestyle products as well too. When you take a look at the first tile shot here, we've got Urban Commuter product, which is really edgy, different type of unique silhouettes using different raw materials. Or in the center tile shot, you're going to see long sleeve button-down shirts, comfortable casual product, which are very much retail inspired. This is something that you could potentially see at Club Monaco or at Banana Republic. And then again, the athleisure products that we have at the last tile here, it's a huge category for the last 2 years. I know that nobody really wants to use the phrase work from home anymore, but it really has changed the industry almost forever, you would think. Like, why wouldn't everybody want to wear as comfortable clothing as much as possible? The versatility with these clothing as well too, so you can wear them, when you're jogging in the morning, you can jump onto a Zoom meeting, and quite frankly, the versatility is there, and again, it's really kind of changed the industry, the way that we look at it. Bags have always been a part of the Stormtech DNA, these heavy-duty waterproof bags, and really are a core competency of ours. Now offering these thoughtfully designed urban commuter bags that go along with it, with travel accessories, it really rounds out the line. 5 short years ago, we had 12 bags to sell. We now have over 55 bags to bring to market, and it continues to be one of our fastest growing categories. We now have more bags than most bag companies have bags, and we're really proud of that direction.
All right. So I'm going to speak to one of the hot topics. Thank you for that, Mike. And that's sustainability. So there's obviously been, over the past, I'd say 10 to 15 years, there's been a huge focus on sustainability. And at Stormtech, we always want to make sure that we are, when we intro into a new category, that we've done our homework and that we're offering a product that makes sense. So the timing has been excellent for us, and we've been asked by our customers to have this as an offering. People have looked to Stormtech to bring something to market. So we're super excited about being able to do that for this spring. And I think it really relates to the timing of what's going on. And KPMG actually had a great study that they did, a survey towards the end of 2020 that showed that 80% of the leading companies around the world are actually now reporting on sustainability. So I've just grabbed some shots from the website on end user type promotions or initiatives that are important to their business. So anything from UPS to Nike. These are some of the customers that you might be selling to, that we would all aspire to sell to, as far as their marketing campaigns and initiatives. So obviously very important. The tipping point for sustainability has really been the consumer. So there is now a growing demand. And I think the consistency that we're now seeing on people looking for opportunities and partners that they can find that have sustainability initiatives is what is really pushing these companies that you see here towards having these types of initiatives within that. So an interesting point to make is what I would call retail credibility or purchase assurance. So when you look at the trusted brands that are out there, and I've just grabbed sort of random brands to kind of speak to trust and where people will look at the Nikes, the Solomons, Arc'teryx, North Face, etc. These are companies that people trust, and the reason that they trust them is because they have taken upon themselves to affiliate their products with different sustainable initiatives. So for example, the Better Cotton Initiative or FSC, if you're looking at any, forested products, so as a paper, corrugated, et cetera, recycled plastic. So these types of initiatives that we're seeing more and more at retail, the reason that these brands are trusted is because they have third-party accreditation. So there is certification, and you may or may not be familiar with some of these third-party accreditation companies, but iSeal, Blue Sign, GRS as far as recycled plastics, and then even initiatives that are launched within the textile exchange. These are all companies that hold, the retail brands accountable for these types of initiatives. So at the end of the day, what it does is it gives you that peace of mind or that purchase assurance when you're buying those products. What's interesting is that when it comes to the corporate side of the business, because of our background in the retail side of the business, and because we still focus on that segment, we hold ourselves accountable to the same standards as the retail brands. And so we actually have launched the same, and again, it depends on, what is being launched by the brands, but in essence, there will be a lot of similar initiatives that are being launched along these lines. So, recycled products, finding different types of fabrication or initiatives that will help lessen the impact on the earth, such as Better Cotton. And you will recognize that you'll see these logos are backing our products as well. So we have that purchase assurance on the corporate side. And we've really built that up over the years with our product warranty. So Mike mentioned our 5-year warranty. That is something that we stand behind and have had that in play. We've had a warranty on our products dating back to the early days of Stormtech. So having that peace of mind for you as a salesperson to be able to go out and sell the product and know that you're selling what we say you're selling, I think is a really key factor. And then also for your customers to have the confidence and that assurance that, again, what they are purchasing is exactly what they are expecting to get when they receive that product. So if we do look at environmental stewardship, and I mentioned the fact that we do take our time in entering some of these initiatives, sustainability was one, and environmental stewardship was a component where when we looked at it, we found ways to make a difference within the company. So, initially it was our 5-year warranty, not fast fashion, really looking at products that are built to last. If we have an issue with one of our products, we will repair it first and foremost. We want to make sure that we're able to do that, and or we will replace it depending on what the issue is with the product. But we're not just automatically replacing it with a free garment. We want to make sure that we're not necessarily just adding to landfill, et cetera, as far as that initiative. Mike kind of mentioned the feather-free component. Polygene and PFC-free are two other examples of technologies where we've been able to implement a fabric technology that actually allows for less impact on the planet and on the environment. So expanding on that, one of the things we've wanted to do and new for Spring 22, our focus is, really looking at reducing our carbon footprint in the marketplace. And one of the biggest ways we can do that is with our packaging and some of our other initiatives. So, this is a quick snapshot of the areas that we'll be focusing on for 2022. So for Spring 2022, all of our catalogs, and we have been for the past 5 years, are using FSC paper. So this is product paper that is sourced from responsible forestation. FSC is an organization that actually is able to, again, give you that assurance that the products that are being used are exactly what we say they are. So interestingly enough, we are one of the only companies in the industry that still has a print catalog. We have reduced the quantity since 2011 by 72%. So we are aware that this is no longer a leave behind tool that you give to a customer. This is something that we can really use as a work tool for you, the sales reps. And we spend a lot of time building and putting together these catalogs. Corrugated, so spring, all of our incoming and outgoing boxes will now be using recycled corrugated. So again, a great initiative to have in place. You can imagine how many boxes we're shipping per year. And then even our hang tags will have FSC paper. So a great opportunity there to, again, lessen the impact on the environment. Super proud to be introducing biodegradable poly bags and shipping bags. So you'll start to see these coming to you. So again, all of the new spring product will have the OXO biodegradable packaging. And then even our external shipping bags will have the OXO biodegradable. So again, just a way of being able to lessen the impact on landfill with these plastic bags. You can imagine how many of these are out in the marketplace right now. So fast forward to our biggest impact on sustainability, we're really looking at clothing as being our #1 priority. So having taken the time to build the channels for sourcing and making sure that we're getting the right types of fabrication and that our sourcing is exactly where we need it to be, we actually have opportunities to bring in recycled fibers, BCI cotton. And our #1 goal, our mission statement that you see on the left here, is really to reduce the waste and environmental impact that's typically associated with apparel production. And that's, again, the #1 way for us to do that is in our new products. So not to steal any thunder from our webinar that we'll be doing on March 23rd, we'll be going into great depth on the Pure Earth sustainability initiative that we have with our products. And we'll be talking in specifics to what the products are made of and all the different technologies and offerings that we have on that. So hopefully you can join us for that as well.
Absolutely. Excuse me. Again, we're talking about supporting the community, and a lot of end users, your customers, will be looking to work with vendor partners with give back programs. In 2018, we launched our 1-to-1 initiative, and attached to that initiative, there was a pledge to donate 1% of our company's total global sales in the form of donated gear for charities working with at-risk youth. Our first partners were Take a Hike Foundation and Street to Peak. But since then, we're just working with an absolute myriad of charitable organizations with different focuses. It doesn't necessarily need to be just at youth risks. And again, the most visible and probably most recent donation, which we made just before the holidays, we donated $600,000 worth of apparel to those who were displaced by the floods outside of Vancouver, the unfortunate floods. And being a BC headquarter company, a lot of our employees had family and friends who were really impacted by these floods. And this will always be a priority of Stormtech moving forward. And to that note, if in fact you do know of an organization that would potentially be a great partner or a fit for any type of donations, please reach out to us because we'd be open to that conversation. Again, moving forward, we'll also be increasing our scope, taking on new partnerships with environmental organizations. And it's just not about donating gear; it's promoting awareness, and encouraging volunteerism. Our partnership is with the Pacific Salmon Foundation, and what was really interesting is that we were involved with a collaboration on Giving Tuesday, which is the Tuesday after Cyber Monday, I believe, and 200% increase in donations happened, with 94 of them came with new donors, and all of those donations were matched by Stormtech. So what's really interesting is that our give back activity has also caught the eye of this crazy army of brand ambassadors who now proudly travel to all these really cool and remote locations all around the world, and they wear our gear in these stunning landscapes. And really, at the end of the day, what this does is it provides us with a really rich library of visual content, and it serves as a really amazing backdrop for a lot of our marketing collateral. The stuff that you see in our catalogs, the stuff that our sell sheets that you would ask for are built from these. And the stunning imagery from the field gives us a true distinction from others and allows us to really tell our story to the user. And at the end of the day, it really encourages others to explore and seek adventure. Our latest pinnacle partnership is with Ryan Barkey and Melody Schaefer and their supporting team, of course, who've raced in an event and sailed 26 days over 8,500 kilometers of racing between France and Martinique. And you can see these images and their journey on the website. And they really are, they serve as our main focus in the Spring 22 catalog, print catalog, and on our website as well, too. We're typically looked at as a technical trek and hiking brand, but this really does serve as a reminder that products, the Stormtech products, belong anywhere and everything, doing any activity, just as long as you're looking for good protection.
All right. So speaking to the brand ambassadors, it's interesting to note that we use that collateral as much as we can in our email and marketing campaigns. So at the bottom of any of the initiatives that you see coming from us at our email campaigns, there is a link to all of the assets, which I think allows you to tell that Stormtech story. We also pepper our catalogs with this information as well. And it's really more about that whole storytelling component to the business and getting an emotional connection with the customer, the end user, and even you as the distributors. So we're renowned in Canada and the US globally for our imagery. It's something that Blake Annable is the one who actually literally page by page puts the catalog together. It's one of his biggest passions. And I think it also speaks to the consistency that we've had over the years as being a leader as far as the type of imagery that we use when it comes to Stormtech. If you look at as well on the side of things like our hype videos, the Pure Earth, which has just come out, we released that video yesterday. All of these are also available to you, and again, leveraging those outdoor landscapes. So not just your traditional model shot, but also having that the ability to tell a story to your customers. And I think the key there is about being able to market Stormtech as a brand. So that is one of the top questions that we get is, how can you tell the story? And I know in Canada we are better known as a brand. In the US, in speaking to Kyle, who oversees the US sales, this is one of their biggest challenges is providing the tools. And I think it's something that our customers have really latched onto. And again, making them all available to social media and easily accessible has really helped. So when we look at our online tools, you may or may not be aware that we've launched our new website in June of last year, and very excited about the opportunities that this has brought for us and the types of tools that we've been able to make available. We do like to make people aware that there are two sites. So we do have a stormtech.ca website, which is our retail website. It does not have all of the corporate styles listed on it. It's a smaller collection of styles. And then for distributors, we actually have our full website that is available. And the new website is stormtechperformance.com. So if you're able to log into that way you're on the distributor website. If you do land on the retail website, you just have to click on the distributor link at the top, and it'll take you to our B2B website versus our B2C website. As far as all the tools, from again, looking at all the imagery, we have a download center, and this is probably one of the most used components on our website where people can access those lifestyle social media shots. You can also access any of the product images. We have all kinds of great tile shots that Mike was referring to before, and then we have finally the model shots. If you're looking just for a straight model shot, we have a full library of model shots that are available. In addition to all of that, we do have as well the story about brand viability and brand demand. And this is a trend that when we're looking at it, it's understanding what's going on in the marketplace and the impact that COVID has had. And so I think as an industry, the retail brands have come a long way. Prior to, if you go back 10, 15, 20 years ago, retail was typically not available. Retail products were not typically available in the corporate marketplace. And now over the last 5 to 10 years, we've seen a huge uptick in the demand with the millions of dollars that these brands are able to invest in their companies and create that demand. We're now seeing people asking for that product, obviously. And it's a huge factor because it really determines sometimes the end user's products that they would like for an event or for an initiative. So the challenges, though, that we're seeing is that sometimes the brand viability or the ability to work with a brand doesn't meet the demand that's out there. And so it can be frustrating for salespeople in the industry to be trying to access a product that is not going to be available. What is interesting is that we have some very strong wholesalers in the industry that are now partnered with the brands and can make this product available. Typically, those products are on a more limited basis, so they wouldn't have all of the styles. But when we start to look on, what's going on within the supply chain, the focus is sort of weaned back towards the retail component. These brands are actually trying to make sure that they've got products available for that. So it's become even more difficult to access branded product over the last 2 years. So that's something that I think has obviously helped Stormtech. We've come off of two record years, and I think one of the biggest reasons is that we've been obviously a viable opportunity to be able to offer retail type product for people that cannot find it from the brands. Some other issues that you may be aware of, some of the retail brands are actually pulling out of the corporate marketplace. They're not comfortable with having co-branding on some of their products, whether it's the industry that it's coming from, or in some cases they just don't want to have other logos associated with their products. So that, again, if you're trying to sell that product, can sometimes be a challenge in our industry. And then at the end of the day, I think if you do think about the brands, their number one priority is definitely going to be on the retail side, which segues into Mike's going to talk to us about the push for premium that we're seeing in our industry.
Yeah, and again, just listening to what you're saying there, Chris, really the net result, or my takeaway from that is, the result is that people really want nice things on their body. They want to be proud about what they put onto their body, and it really kind of puts us in a really great position. They want sophistication. They want product that is built for performance. And as you just talked about, there's really a void which has been opened for us that a lot of those brands have really turned their back, or in some cases have abandoned the promotional marketplace. So we really relish the opportunity to tell the margin opportunity. We tell a much more strong margin opportunity. And again, we're obviously talking about always about the unreliable inventory levels and the inventory levels that we do actually have for you to utilize. And again, we don't have any restrictions put on any of our products. And again, we're here to help you decorate the product as best we possibly can moving forward. So again, I don't know if anybody has actually read this article from ASI, but it was really interesting to me just because it really kind of fell directly into our lap just while we were preparing this presentation. But what it does is measures which promotional products are most influential and what influences them to do business with an advertiser. Over 39,000 people participated in this. And when you actually take a look at the 5 most influential promotional products in the United States, again, not Canada, but in the United States, and I suspect that it would mirror what was going on in Canada as well too. You're taking a look at outerwear. It's our biggest category. Taking a look at performance wear, which is a huge growth category of ours. Masks, which, maybe someday we won't have to talk about masks, but we are still talking about masks. Health and safety, again, we suspect this is due to hand sanitizer and COVID-related types of things. And polo shirts, we are the largest single branded carrier of polo shirts in the industry. And then when you're breaking it down by demographic as well too, men, outerwear is the number one promotional product. Performance wear, polo shirts, masks. It's really a list of products specifically built for us. And then you take it what's important to women: outerwear, health and safety, performance wear, and of course bags, which is one of our biggest growth categories as well. Kind of an interesting slide because it looks like we're actually poking other brands in the chest, and it's really not that way at all. We get approached all the time on a regular basis to provide a comparison piece. Somebody, a buyer from a company might come back to a distributor like you guys and say, hey, listen, I found this at retail. Would you be able to find something like this? I need 300 pieces. What's the most, the closest comparative, whatever the situation is. So we get to ask this all the time, and we love this opportunity to showcase our quality, to show our margin story, to expose our inventory levels. So we really encourage you to bring us those comparison pieces, and we'll help you build that strategy to increase your strike rate and just make sure that you're taking into consideration the most brand savvy buyers.
All right, Mike, thank you for that. As far as product and service solutions, I think this is really what we would call the Stormtech difference. And this is where we sort of set ourselves apart from the brands. And it's definitely, these bullet points that you see here, this is where we have really seen our business take off, is by addressing a lot of these opportunities to work with our customers. So when you look at it, we actually have the largest assortment of premium apparel and bags in the industry. As Mike mentioned before, 50 plus bags in the collection. We actually have more bags than some bag suppliers. So we're super excited to have the breadth of the line that we have that is predominantly focused on that better, best segment, with 500 plus styles to choose from. Over the past 5 years, we have really become one of the leaders as far as inventory when it comes to apparel. And interestingly enough, if you're familiar with the early days at Stormtech, that was actually one of our Achilles heels. We didn't have deep inventory, and we'll go into a little bit more depth on the strategy that we put behind that. But we've now become one of the go-to companies for inventory when it comes to apparel in the corporate marketplace. And that covers all kinds of categories. So outerwear, fleece, hoodies, polos, tees, bags, masks. We actually have a full assortment of products that you can choose from. Other key things that we've really focused on is having a free freight program. So we are based out of Vancouver. So if you're in the East, obviously, there's going to be some, potential freight situations where you're looking at how long, the cost of getting it from Vancouver there. We actually subsidize that with our free freight program on orders over $300. We also have a subsidized overnight and 2-day air programs that a lot of customers aren't familiar with. So we actually do share the cost with you so that it's minimized so that you can get product on a rush basis, that if you need it overnight, that is an option. And then we also have the 2-day air option as well, which is very popular with a lot of our customers in Ontario and in Quebec and the Maritimes. Other great features that we offer is sizing up to 5XL with no upcharges. Men's and ladies matching styles. That's a huge feature. If you're looking to try and find matching styles within the retail channels, that can often be a real struggle, is finding the same matching sort of silhouette to a certain piece that you're looking for. In-house decoration, and again, as Mike mentioned before, no co-branding restrictions. For us, this is something that we have taken on, and embroidery, heat transfer, patches. We have all kinds of decoration methods that Mike will talk to in a little bit. But then, and finally, is that our pricing is at full retail in the catalog. So it is on an A, and that is giving you the full opportunity to maximize your margins. You're not seeing column pricing based on volumes. Really, is we're looking to build that margin opportunity for our customers, and also to give the end users, the customers, an opportunity to understand what the value of that product is. Inventory assurance. So again, probably the number one reason for our record sales over the past 2 years and the continued growth. But it really came down to a business strategy that we made in 2018, and this was prior to COVID. So as they say in life, timing is everything sometimes. And we actually decided that we were going to approach it from a carrying 2 to 3 year inventory position on our top sellers. So this was really looking at the pieces that were driving our business and loading up to make sure that we were able to absorb some of those bigger hits that would normally cripple a supplier when you get an order for 10,000 pieces and you're out of stock for 6 months to 7 months. So our largest inventory spend came in place last year in 2020, and we literally had that 2 to 3 years worth of inventory on the shelves when COVID hit. And so again, timing being what it is, that played out really well for us. The success that we've been able to build off of that is that we've taken those, the wins that we had in our inventory, and we've reinvested that into incremental revenue, incremental inventory. So we actually have a 30% increase over our 2021 buy plan for 2022. So we have massive amounts of inventory coming in, essentially as of February through August, into the warehouse. And the other thing that I think is a major point for us is that the corporate channel is our number one priority. We do have our B2C website, but our B2B is definitely where we focus our attention on as far as our overall sales. If you're looking at inventory assurance, and I mentioned the website before, a couple of key things here is that we do have a new segment on here, which is deep inventory. You can click on this on the website and it will literally bring up the pieces that have the deepest inventory. And we are monitoring this every 2 weeks and updating this every 2 weeks. So as inventory comes in and as inventory goes out, this is a great opportunity to have an update, a quick update off of our website. We do also like to remind our distributors that we now have real-time inventory online. So you do not need to log in. If you want to get your pricing, then you would obviously want to log in to the website because it will show your net pricing. But if you're just looking to find retail, inventory, you just actually have to log into the website, stormtechperformance.com, and you'll be able to access what we have in stock and then also what we have incoming. So you can see here is an example of our SFX1, black, red plaid, 35,000 units in stock, and then we would have another 6,600 coming for June 14th. So just giving you some visibility as to when products are coming in and what's on hand. So again, here you'd see that we have 8 units of extra large, but as of June 14th, we'd have another 992 available. So just giving you that advanced visibility And that's real-time live inventory.
Yeah, and as Chris mentioned when he was going through the introduction, our favorite topic, supply chain and logistics. I'm sure everybody is just about done talking about this topic, but the challenges still remain and they're still very, very real. That being said, we feel that we're in a pretty good position. I think we have a significant advantage over others just for several different reasons. Number one, could you imagine if you were one of these wholesalers managing 30 or 50 different lines with different countries of origin or different factories or different manufacturing ideals? They obviously have a significant they're at a significant disadvantage when you have to manage all of these brands and coordinate all this inventory coming in. We've got one brand coming in. So quite frankly, we feel that we're in a really good position when it comes to that. Also, products are offloaded at the Port of Vancouver. And Kyle, our VP of sales in the US, brought up a really good point. He said, did you ever take a live air shot of the containers off the coast of California and Long Beach? He said there could be 500, 600, sort of circling around that port at any given time, compared to the Vancouver port, where there might be 15. There's obviously significantly less. And because of that, the port congestion, it isn't as grandiose as it is in the US at this point. We also bypass the rail system. Our office is in Burnaby, which is literally 15 minutes away from the port. So we don't necessarily need to offload the product, stick it onto a train, and get it across the country, which takes anywhere from 5, 6, 10 more days, all depending on what the weather's like. So we actually have access to the product to get it onto the shelf, to get it QC'd and get it ready for sale right away. And again, seamless cross-border service. We do offer these services, and we'll get into that in a couple of more slides. Oh, sorry, you did. You switched the slide. That's great. So this is great. This is great, especially if you've got customers south of the border. Just as long as you're willing to pay in U.S. dollars, there are no duties. There's no brokerage fees. There's no commercial invoices. We take care of all of that paperwork, and there's no international rates. So if, in fact, you've got a program with both a Canadian and a U.S. component, it's a perfect solution, and we do it every single day. So it's not like a special set of circumstances because we've got a U.S. customer base which draws from our Burnaby, BC DC every single day. And then if in fact you're not really looking at or if you haven't really looked at our freight solutions, Chris kind of went over it really briefly, but just once again, orders under $300, you will be paying no more than $12.50 on any ground shipment. If you wanted to expedite that shipment, or if in fact you needed something really quickly via air, you're being charged $25 or $35 if the orders are under $300. If the orders are over $300, you will always be receiving free ground freight. But if in fact you needed to get something out of the door really quickly, we all know that this business, it's all about timing as well too. So if you needed to get something at the door, we would charge a 4.5% on the invoice. So if it's a $1,000 order, you'd be charged a $45 freight charge. Or if you needed to get something across the country via air, you would be charged a 9% freight charge, or on a $1,000 order, it'd be a $90 freight charge. And sometimes that's just an investment that you need to make.
Actually, that's a typo. That should say 6% in Canada. So that is a
Sorry.
No, that's my fault. Mike, sorry, it's a 6%. So just a typo on that.
Even better. In decoration price list, as Chris mentioned, like again, in-house, and this almost ladders up to what we've got when we're talking about the freight solutions, is that if you want us to decorate your product, we can actually drop ship that product directly to your customer, and then you don't necessarily need to ship it to another decorator and then be responsible for getting it to your end user. So again, if you wanted to utilize us for decoration, we'd be more than happy to help you. We've got full in-house embroidery services. We've got seamless heat transfers. And again, this is when you're getting into finite detail, gradients, just really a cool, crisp, clean look. The heat transfers, laser etch patches, which we've just invested into machines to do the laser etch patches in-house, which, will be a huge advantage for getting orders out really quickly and even getting more creative with the product just because we have full control of it. Screen print, it's really set aside exclusively for our waterproof duffel bags and backpacks. Again, they're really difficult to decorate, so I always suggest if you're buying those bags, you get us to do that. And if in fact we don't have a color offering for a customer that wants something, you know, a little bit of a color pop, then we don't offer that color. We do carry a lot of these zipper pulls in line. So orange and red and purple and lime green and some of these things, we actually have stock of it. So if you've got a jacket that a customer really needed to see specific colors on, we could take the old Stormtech zipper pulls off the jacket and replace them with these color ones just to sort of offer that really nice color pop. And it really does make a difference. I love this quick start guide. And again, this is something that we had just developed with the inside sales team, that if in fact you're a new customer, you would automatically get this quick start guide. One thing that you should really understand though, this is a live document. So what I would do is I would save this to your desktop because it is perpetually changing. Prices, new arrivals, featured flyers. So if in fact you save this and you know we're switching seasons, if you tap it one day, you know, and then we switch seasons, you'll tap it the next day, there will always be something new there. Or it's just a really good guide that if, hey, listen, what kind of decoration options do we have again? It's just a really easy thing that you can save under your desktop and click through, and it takes you right to the website, and it's very intuitive. Also, you might want to sign up for the website tutorials, just as Chris was talking about, navigating. How do I track my orders? How do I order online? All that other type of stuff. If you provide your email address and you can sign up for these tutorials, there's a lot of great information to actually navigate the website.
Awesome. All right, Mike, thanks for that. So we thought we would do just a very high level 50,000 foot overview product. So our first look at that is going to be sort of the key categories that Stormtech focuses on. I'll start it off with 3-in-1 jackets, what we also call system jackets. And interestingly enough, this is a category that essentially ran a campaign the past 2 years. It was called Own the Cold. And it's something that we've really hung our hat on because we have the largest collection of 3-in-1 jackets in the industry. So we have literally 24 men's and ladies styles that are available. And I think what we've really seen in this category is an expansion, and you're going to hear me say this a few times, and Mike will say it as well, is that we've expanded the selection from just better best, where we're known as having that high-end, very technical retail type product, to now having good, better, best, where we're getting into some price points that are more flexible with program business or uniform business, where we can get people into a better product at the 3 different price segments. So you're seeing a rounded out assortment in these categories. Being true to the Stormtech brand and our DNA is that we will always have the emphasis more so on the better best segments, and that's where we've had a lot of our success in these categories. And in looking at it, we have some examples. So just imagine this is, you know, your customer, you send them an HR2 sample. Getting them into their hands and being able to touch and feel the product is key. Like, this is a very high-end, fully seam sealed, waterproof jacket with a soft shell outer shell, and it's also got a fleece lining on the inside. But then on top of that, we have the liner, which is a lightweight polyfill jacket. So it's giving you that warmth factor as well. So great 3-in-1 system jacket. And we've got all of this imagery available to you and for your customers to be able to use as well if you're looking to send them any information on these types of products.
So I'll take a look at thermal outerwear, and this again is a top 3 category for Stormtech, and it really does continue to be an area of growth for us. We've got 15 different, what we'd like to call the puffy jackets or puffy vests to choose from. You can slot these jackets in any presentation because they're great for outdoor enthusiasts, or they're great for urban city buyers. Even some workwear companies would, be attracted to this type of product. This is a trend that will be around for this foreseeable future, and we will continue to grow and build this category with more SKUs. I think you can present these in just about any season as well too. We do have lighter weight hybrid pieces, which offers warm weather options for early mornings, late evenings in the summer, and just different warmer weather seasons. This is the BRX-1, which is the Narvik hybrid jacket. And again, as I talked about, it's got a thermal portion in the front of the jacket. Then it's got more of a sweater type of material. It really does encourage warmth. But we also have its brother, for a lack of a better term, with a little bit more of a diamond, like a diamond configuration compared to speaking to the straight linear baffles. and it is got stretchy arms in it, so it's much more encourageable to use this when you're talking about golfing or talking about running or anything like that, anything to do with movement or activity. But anyway, some really cool looking pieces when it comes to these hybrid pieces as well.
Another category that is in top three for us as far as total sales would be our soft shell category. So as Mike mentioned before, this is definitely an area where we have a lot of expertise, and I think it's a segment of the business that we're very well known for. Being a West Coast based company, we're obviously looking at a lot of rain. But the other element, and I think so, the flexibility that you have with this category is that you can always layer product underneath it. So and it's another reason why it's so popular all across Canada. But soft shells continues to be one of the top selling categories with lots of different options. And a good example of the strength in this category that we have is that these are three of our assurance styles. When we talked about carrying high levels of inventory, we're not just doing it in the entry level position. Typically, a lot of suppliers will load up on the lowest price points that they have available, because that typically ends up being that volume segment where you're seeing a lot of retail programs, or you're seeing company uniform programs. But in this case, we have three different examples of good, better, best. And when you look at the pricing that you see on these slides, you're looking at an $80, $125 retail, and a $260 retail. So again, the main differentiators in this is going to be the technologies that are offered in these pieces. So again, good, better, best. You have a foundation of technologies in the Orbiter soft shell. It's elevated to additional technologies and design features that would be added to the Cascade. And then when we get to the Patrol soft shell, the XB3, it's one of our top selling soft shells, which is also ironically one of our highest priced soft shells, which speaks to the fact that customers are looking for quality and performance. So we always let people know not to be worried about the pricing. This is something that customers are looking for. They want performance. So huge category for us on the soft shell side. When we're talking about the versatility of the category, much like Mike mentioned with the lightweight puffy jackets, we actually have the Kyoto jacket, which is a play that we're seeing at retail right now with lightweight, breathable, stretchy fabrication. So this is a very different type of soft shell. And this is where Stormtech really flexes the versatility within the categories that we can have. We can introduce these more technical pieces that are form, fit, and function as far as the product that we're offering. So the KPX1 would be a great option.
So outdoor casual, you could call this by many different names. Well, outdoor casual, lifestyle, the lifestyle category, it's certainly one of the categories that we've been focused on. And the design team has done a really wonderful job and has almost become really creative with the raw materials that they've been using. And these are really cool cut and sew details. This is a category which really forged the way to change the way that people really look at us, and the evolution of Stormtech. And really outside of that simply technical outdoor protective apparel type of brand, this has given us an opportunity to reach a way different consumer, somebody who's looking for comfort, somebody that's looking for just retail trends. So again, this has really flipped the script and had people looking at us with a different set of eyes. And a good example of that is the ANX-1 Zurich thermal jacket. I own this jacket, so I can sort of speak to it. And again, this is a jacket that I would wear, either going out to dinner with my wife, or I would throw it on to go skiing, for crying out loud. There's that much versatility when it comes to it. But when you really look at it, it's got that really edgy look with a sophisticated raw material. And again, it's thermal on the inside, so it's incredibly warm and waterproof, seam sealed. So there's just a lot to talk about when you're talking about this jacket, and all of our jackets in this category, for that matter. Just really cool, on-trend, edgy looks. And again, we're gaining a lot of momentum in this category.
So fleece and layering, when we talk about this segment of the business, this is probably a category within the industry that has really evolved more than any other category. So we're seeing different types of applications. So whether it's a lightweight, stretchy quarter zip, such as our HTZ one in the middle here, or if it's a more, a full zip retail look that you're going for with the Juno knits. We have tons of options with these types of products. And then even the full zip microfleece, we're moving away from your traditional solid color block. We do have that available, but we also want to have options that are a little bit more retail geared towards the look and feel, and then the fit is a really key factor for us as well in this segment, is making sure that this product fits the body comfortable. And again, having good, better, best segments. We do typically focus more on the better, best segment in this category. You're not going to see any, inexpensive price points from us. There are multiple suppliers in the industry, Sanmar, Alpha, S&S. They do a phenomenal job of offering those products in the key price points in the tees and fleece. Not an area that we like to play in, and we really do focus more on the performance aspect of the product itself. A great example would be the EQX1. So here you've got a jacket that has a ton of stretch, a ton of, as far as comfort and warmth. So a very versatile product.
So women's casual, this has certainly been a high focus area from the product development team. Our development team are all women, and they've really spent a lot of time developing and creating solutions for producing product for ladies that want choice. 50% of the workforce are women, and what we have found that it's very, there's very little representation for standalone ladies products. And quite frankly, what is there's really been a lack of thought to design. So developing these really unique and inclusive silhouettes and taking into consideration what women want to wear, not what they're forced to wear. And the product is, as we say internally, it's designed by women for women. And this is a great example, the KNC-2W, the Soho cardigan, which is incredibly soft, really nice. And again, talking about flexibility, you could wear this to the office, you could layer it, you can wear it with a pair of jeans, kick it on a Friday night kind of thing. So anyway, just a really nice piece. And I love this slide because it really does show their unique companion options. 85% of our line, we have a male option and a female option. And as you can kind of see, the first jacket, the ladies option, it's a 3/4 length with a much more of a contoured shape and a hood with the drawstrings. In the middle, it's a layering piece, a really soft, light layering piece. The ladies piece, again, contoured shape with a hood. And you can see a different color configuration on the ladies' polo shirt compared to speaking to the men's, but it still represents a companion piece or a uniform piece.
Which leads us to polos. And interestingly enough, this is a category that we are not really known for. However, it is our #1 selling category as far as units sold. And our approach to this category and the success that we're having is, again, having that good, better, best assortment. So a full range of products and price points, but also having technology at every level. I think that's been the major differentiator for us is that we have high levels of technology available in all 3 segments of the business. And when we get into the higher end, more technical products, it's usually within the fabrication, but tons of great features, mechanical moisture wicking, anti-curl collars, mechanical stretch. So these are all key features that people are looking for in the polo category.
Premium casual tees. And at the start of the pandemic in spring of 2020, I know no one really wants to remember that time frame, but at that time we came out with our premium blend casual tees, and quite frankly, we were surprisingly, pleasantly surprised about the market reaction to it. We blew through the inventory, and it really paved a cool road for more development moving forward. In additional long sleeve and short sleeve shirts, and again, I'm not going to talk too much about this, but you'll see for spring 2022 that we've really elaborated more on this. This is not fast fashion product. It's not worn twice and then donated, or even worse, ends up in landfills. But the whole lineup of Torcello tees has done incredibly well. So this is the TG-3, which is, again, a little bit of a unique soft poly cotton blend with a boat neck 3/4 sleeve, black back slits on the back. Sorry, it's a drop back with back slits. And it's just really another example of a product. It's a great fit, unique look.
Awesome. Another category to consider is workwear. So we have a bit of a cult following with our 5-year warranty. This is something that our customers have stood behind and feel comfortable selling into this segment. So we want to remind people that this is a phenomenal category, whether it's our high vis and or even some of our generic products that actually are great for branding when it comes to workwear, construction, et cetera, as far as an industry.
Waterproof duffels, huge part of the Stormtech DNA and the success story. But we've been building other waterproof products around our core duffel bag series to create more options, more price points, more looks. For an example, the Sirius backpack, which is a roll top dry bag. sitting at an $85 price point, or the Madagascar duffel bag, which is way more sophisticated urban hybrid duffel with an elevated look that really still plays in that waterproof category. And then, yeah, everyone wants to travel, let's be straight. So we're really positioned well with all of our executive travel bags. And the introduction of these thoughtfully designed, purposeful bags with all these unique characteristics and all these different price points, again, it gives you a really nice array and a cross-section of these cool executive travel bags. We have rolling bags and backpacks, and they all interact with one another as well, and you could potentially even sell them as sets. This is also a top 3 growth category for us. And then cooler bags, really driven by that retail powerhouse, or several retail powerhouse brands. The high-end technical cooler bag business is very, very healthy and very alive. To our benefit, the high-profile brands have essentially exited the promo space to a certain extent, and we find it difficult to acquire. So we started this category with 2 cooler bags back in spring 2020. We now have 7 cooler bag options, and we've expanded our colorways in all of the styles: grays, blues, reds. Funny enough, the most popular color that we have right now, which comes in and then sells out really quickly, is white. All are in stock now, and we have nearly 90,000 cooler bags being deployed into the market from now in July, which is just an absolute astounding number as far as I'm concerned. So as far as I'm concerned, go get the business for sure.
All right, and last but not least, accessories. So just a reminder that we do have a full assortment of accessories also available through Stormtech. And I see that we're kind of winding down to the hour of our presentation, and we did want to also mention, of course, masks. And we won't spend a lot of time on this, but it is one of our strengths as far as a product that has been launched. And I think it's a great segue that speaks to the approach that we take with our business. We take time to launch a category. When we looked at masks, we went after the better, best assortment. We looked at technology, we looked at design. We didn't go the route of the disposable masks. So we have a full assortment on our website of masks as well. Obviously, custom is something as well, and we'll have a little bit more to discuss on that. Mike will talk to this, actually.
Yeah, sure. Again, it's one of our fastest growing segments, and it just gives you an opportunity to get creative, deliver products to your customer that is specifically built for them. In most cases, the easiest way to sort of wrap your head around this type of program is really taking a specific inline product and modifying it with color and zippers and pull tabs and different decoration techniques. And you can even potentially even do Pantone color matching. There are attainable price point or attainable MOQs, 300 for bags, 600 for certain styles of apparel. And again, this program is being run by Britton Thaler, and quite frankly, I would trust her with my life. She carries it, she's soup to nuts, and she delivers product on time and sits on it until it's actually delivered to the back door. So again, it's really important about having somebody in charge of this that makes sure that it runs it to the end.
Awesome. So that leads us to the conclusion of our presentation, and we're going to leave you with a bit of a teaser, a quick little sort of view of what is coming. These are products that are now starting to deliver for spring, but this is also what we're going to cover for our webinar that we do on the 23rd of March. And essentially, we've got 48 new styles. So we are one of the only suppliers in the industry that is bringing not only new products, but a lot of new products to the marketplace. So we're super excited about the different types of products that we'll have available. So 4 new shells for spring. Urban streetwear, which Mike talked about, we've got 4 new styles coming in on the urban streetwear category. Phenomenal selection of new polos, which is getting into that pure earth, sustainable collection. Polygene is a new technology, and then updating some of our best-selling polos. Our premium casual tee segment is being really stepped up with the recycled polyester and pure earth collection coming into play. And then some new price points that we're introducing on the cooler bag segment as well. And then last but not least, we have a late launch for June coming in, which is an entire segment, has been getting rave feedback as far as our presentations in the early part of spring, but an awesome technology that's coming to the plate that I think you'll be very interested in as well. So with that, always samples are available as a tool to you. And obviously there is better pricing for samples. So we want to encourage that, as Stormtech is a product that needs to be a touch and feel. You do really need, the images are great to work from, but to really seal the deal and to get us a seat at the table, I think you need to touch and feel those products. So our contact information, if you have any questions on the sales management side, myself, Chris Turner at stormtech.ca. And then of course, Mike Oliver, Mike O at stormtech.ca. And then Matthew Michelin, who a lot of our newer accounts would be dealing with his team, which is Matthew M at stormtech.ca. And then as mentioned previously, if you're in the East, so Quebec and the Maritimes, your contact would be Cynthia Calper, Cynthia C at stormtech.ca. In the West, we have Deborah Godso for new accounts with Deborah G at stormtech.ca. And then finally, Bhavisha Mistry Prasad, who is doing inside sales for Central. So in Ontario, oops, sorry, and it's not Mike Oliver, it's actually Bhavisha.
I'll forward the emails. Yeah.
Yes, we'll make that out to you. So Mike's going to get a lot of emails. We also have our sales team. So obviously we have our multi-line agents that are across Canada. And so we would also, if you have any questions, we fully ask that you reach out to them. And they have phenomenal experience with not only the industry and the trends that are going on in the territories, but also obviously with the Stormtech brand. So a huge thank you to everyone for sitting in on the call. Again, we will be, if you've asked questions in the chat, hopefully they've been answered. And if not, we will be following up with you on that. And this call will also be made available. The webinar will be made available to you as well as far as a presentation. So thank you on behalf of Mike, Matthew, Bhavisha, and Deb, and thank you on behalf of Stormtech. We hope to see you on the 23rd of March for our new product webinar. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.